And welcome to JB's Review Code here on my channel. I'm going to start doing game reviews. This first one will be for WWE 2k16. I've put about 45-50 hours into the game at this point, so I think it's about time I did a review based on my experiences. Most of the old favourite modes are back in this year's edition. There's a couple of bits where they've tinkered around, such as the creation studio, which is substantially boosted up. A lot of the options from last year. They haven't really done as much with the diva side of things. It's pretty good overall, and you can build your own superstars, transplant faces in and things like that. You can create new entrances based off various customized versions of ones that are already existing in the game. The online part where you can download and upload characters such as this, as you can see, there's quite a few user generated content examples on there. You can do the same with logos, badges, signs, arena decorations and that kind of thing. It would have been better if it had been like a Steam Workshop integration, but it works as it is fairly well. It's a bit cumbersome, but does the job. So let's have a quick dive into the menu system. I'll show you the 1080p benchmark. As you can see, that's the settings I've got it running on there with the MSAA on 8 times. Now normally I would turn that off because I play in 4K, but just to save a bit of bandwidth I put it in 1080p, so you need the anti-aliasing to compensate. But the funny thing is, we're at exactly the same frame rate. That's around 60 solid when you're playing in a match with 6 players on the screen, as you can see. That's a fairly decent frame rate. The weird thing is it doesn't change in the slightest when you play 4K. So that would suggest developers locked it at 60 frame rate, maybe just because of the motion capture of the wrestlers, so it doesn't like desync out of as you would see on other games that do that. So as you can clearly see, the game probably scales quite well for lower end PCs. And you can see the textures are pretty good, although it doesn't seem to have much in the way of shadowing, even though shadows are enabled. Maybe that's part of the cutscene side of things when you get the ring entrances, or you get the side cut screens occasionally do like a Superman. So I would imagine that accounts for why there's a frame drop there, but not during normal gameplay. But for the benefits of a benchmark, that's pretty good, as you can see. So now you've seen the game, I've explained it a bit, time for the pros and cons. 4K support, it runs really well, it doesn't seem to make much difference to resolution. You got much faster loading times, it's got a much bigger roster. Improved hair, costume physics, you'll see less clipping in the game than last year's edition. There's a lot more improvements in the custom editor this year. The animations are generally overall better. There's more diva content than last year. There's a lot of fixes in performance and loading times over last year's edition, and most importantly, you get all the DLCs that the console versions had for free! Yes, absolutely free, all content from day one. What more could you ask for? And now you're going to have some cons, because not every game is perfect. The online multiplayer is still going to have the same problems due to it being P2P based, so if you're playing someone with a poor connection, expect performance problems. The new submission controls are a bit awkward, although you will get used to them eventually. It just doesn't feel particularly intuitive when you first play, because the tutorials aren't very good, in fairness. There's still not enough diva content. You still can't do fantasy battles where you play divas against the male fighters, which is a bit of an annoyance. The cutscenes are still locked at 30 frames no matter what spec you've got, although the in-game action will still run at 60 capped. And the menu playlist, I have to say, is some of the worst choices of music I've seen in a long time. They want to take note to what some of the bigger companies like GTA or EA do with their choice of catalogue for the music, although you still got all the proper themes for the wrestlers featured in the game, and they're spotless. Can't have anything bad said about them. So on with the final score. I'm going to give this game 80%, simply because it's the best wrestling game on PC. There's enough content in there to keep you busy till 2k17 arrives, and I would say it's improved vastly over 2k15 edition, and the control systems are a lot smoother and more precise than they were last year. So I hope you've enjoyed this, like and subscribe.